turn you up, just your volume, and just a little tip.
Do you need me to project? I'm classically trained. I can do such a thing.
Ben, where are you coming in from us today?
I'm at home. I'm at home in New York City, wishing I could be with all of y'all, but I was supposed to be there yesterday, but I'm a little bit sick, so I'm kind of isolating.
That is probably why.
It's responsible. We love it.
Yes, indeed.
A responsible Newsie.
We also have the lovely.
Responsible one.
We also have Jen Tepper and Melissa here. Y'all want?
Hey, Jen. Hey.
Ben, how's your COVID been? Not like it hurt, just like the past 2 years. Like, how's it been?
COVID as an experience.
Yes.
2 years. No, it's been, we've all been trying to figure out a way to keep ourselves afloat and keep ourselves entertained and inspired, and that has been a really interesting journey, and it's been all right, all things considered.
I feel like we talked kind of in the middle of the pandemic, and I was learning how to make banana bread, and I was like, well, what have you done, Ben? He's like, oh, I wrote a musical. Actually, we have a start date. So that was his creative project, was writing and starring in an off-Broadway musical. Just incredible overachiever. Just many hats.
Oh, thanks.
You're the best.
Ben, you guys have a cast recording, right?
Yes, thank you for saying that.
Do you want to tell people where they can get it, where they can listen to it?
Absolutely. I'm super excited that we have a cast album. We recorded it a few months ago, and it sounds so great. And it's coming out in just a few short weeks, and you can get it on Spotify and Apple Music and anywhere that you get your cast albums. We're gonna have sheet music for sale, and I'm just excited to see all the productions of Regina Comet popping up all over the country in the next few years, I hope.
Do you want to tell the BroadwayCon fans who might not know, a little about what the show is about?
Of course. So anyone out there at BroadwayCon can relate to the struggles of show business and being an actor who wants to just make it and hit it big. And this show is about two best friend songwriters who are trying to break into the business, and they get a phone call one day from this mega pop superstar named Regina Comet. And Regina Comet herself is sort of a faded pop star, and she's trying to regain her relevance. And so in order to do that, she comes up with a perfume line, as we see so many celebrities kind of shift into that gear in their older age to try and sell some products. So she contacts us, we write a jingle for her, chaos ensues, love, loss, and everything in between. And it's a 3-person musical. It's very intimate, but it's super funny and fun and zany and heartfelt. And I love it. So I'm excited to share it with the world.
You're getting a lot of applause here.
Oh, thank y'all.
I can't wait for this cast recording to come out. I feel like I need to plan a road trip just so I can sprout along with y'all.
Because it's going to be bops on bops.
Bop upon bop, song of the summer.
That's right.
So Ben, it is the 10-year anniversary of us opening a little musical called Newsies. So wild. I cannot believe it's been 10 years and we look exactly the same.
Honestly, you both do, so for real, that's no lie.
I did weirdly when we had that reunion. I feel like anytime you do a 10-year reunion, when you go back to high school and you're like, whoa, that person looks very different. The Newsies, we learned how to moisturize very early on. It was snatch faces still.
That's right.
Do you have a favorite Newsies memory?
Oh man, we got to do some amazing press opportunities. I just remember performing on A of all the Tony Awards, which was just nothing beats performing on the Tony Awards. It is so scary. Woo. I feel like I'm getting nervous now just even remembering it. And when we did The View and when we did Dancing with the Stars and Good Morning America, just those experiences where we got to take our little show and blast it on a national and worldwide stage. Those were the moments that felt so surreal, that it felt so much bigger than I ever thought it could be. So that's what's coming to mind right now. But there's so many memories, and I can't believe it's been 10 years. And all at once feels like a lifetime ago, and it also feels like it was just yesterday. And I will say, I'm getting to see like all these schools and groups across the country and the world that are doing Newsies now that it's out for licensing. And it just makes my heart sing to see like the next generation get to experience what we experienced with the show, because it's just one of those shows that is so special, and it just bonds you, just knowing you did a production of Newsies, and then like meeting a friend who also did a production of Newsies at a different time and place. You're just bonded because like you've been hawking papes, and it just bonds you.
It really is the best time. Is anyone in the audience, has anyone here done a production of Newsies? All right. Do we have anyone dressed like a Newsie or has dressed like a Newsie this weekend?
There was definitely a gap in the place last night because Anthony ended up with it on his head. last night, Anthony could only drop into BroadwayCon for a day because of his Star Trek schedule, and so we gave him a BroadwayCon in 10 minutes. And in one of those things that he did in those 10 minutes, they did a little cosplay, and people just sort of throwing costume pieces at him. So he started he had a Puerto Rico flag on, he had the Mean Girls head brace, he had the Newsies cap, he had a red poster, and it was all just all over him, so.
Transformative.
Fun story.
Absolutely.
The flag is still here.
Come on, the remnants. I can't wait to see the remnants of BroadwayCon, just like glitter and Newsy hats just strewed in the streets.
Pretty much.
Well, Ben, thank you so much. I miss your sweet face. Let's hang out. We have to go. Have you seen Ryan's puppy yet?
I just in passing on the streets, but we need a proper play date.
Okay. One of our best friends, Ryan Steele, just adopted a very, very cute dog. I feel like we're gonna need to do a little Newsies play date and meet that puppy.
It's great to see y'all. Have a blast. Bye. Take care.
Let's see you here next year.
Yes, you will.
Feel better.
Thank you.
That was lovely.
How about that guy?
I hope that dog is named after a Newsie.
What Newsie with the dog? What do you think? What Newsie with the dog named after?
Oh man, well I know what the dog's name is, and it is named after a musical.
Oh.
Yes, his dog's name is Annie.
Aww, we love it.
Mine's named George because his son in the park with George.
Oh, so good.
You can run
Mine
it.
is Archie from Secret Garden.
Aww. I guess Annie could technically be a Newsie. She's in the world.
Oh yeah. I'm texting another person to see if they might be able to join us.
In the meantime,
Yeah.
how are you doing, Jen?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be at BroadwayCon. I love seeing all the cosplay, which has been great.
Yeah.
How are you
So-
doing, Melissa?
It's so great to be back. We're so incredibly thrilled that y'all came out to do the BroadwayCon with us this year, and we can't wait to come back next year. We do know when and where it will be, but we're not telling you yet. However, because there are things that have to happen, it's a whole thing. But I can tell you that it will be summer again next year. We'll stick with summer, and I can also tell you it will be in a different location. That's all we're gonna do for that part. But keep on the social stuff, and you'll see. You all especially will find out soon. There's a code in your book. If you scan it, you'll get the email first that tells you when it is, etc.
Natalie? Let me know if someone has joined.
They have. Give me just a moment.
Oh, okay, very exciting. I guess I could introduce this person as well. This person went to college with me at the University of Michigan and is go blue! And is one of my dearest best friends. And he's going to be zooming in from very far away tonight, and I think it is quite late there. So whenever he would like to join.
It's a good hint. I like that you didn't quite tell them.
Yeah, it's like
Good hint.
I like a little cloak and dagger here at BroadwayCon. Any guesses who it might be? Someone, a unicorn.
We had two people show up at the same time, so
It's
give
Matt
me
Doyle.
just a second.
That's
Alphabet did go to University of Michigan, so that's a great
She
guess.
bugs, yeah.
Yeah, we have another person in 3 minutes, so that person's probably early.
Oh my gosh! Ladies and gentlemen, bench passing.
What's going on? You bulger?
Benji, you were here at BroadwayCon.
Wait, I saw it. And is that a Jen Pepper in the corner of the screen?
Is that, sorry, what?
Is that a Jen Tepper to your...
Live and in person. We also have nice to hear from Mischief Man.
That's how we all feel.
Incredible. Hi, I love it. I haven't been in BroadwayCon in so long. What a nice little surprise.
BroadwayCon misses you. Everyone here misses you. Where are you right now?
I'm in London town.
Jolly old London. Are you allowed to say why you were in London right now?
Yeah, we're working on the Snow White movie right now, so we're in.
That's a scoop, BroadwayCon. Get excited.
How is it you're going?
It's good. By the way, whoever is listening, I just want to let you know that Andrew has not called me in a long time, so I got very excited when he called me, and now I just know it's all just part of a bit, Andrew.
I only see you when there's an audience.
So sad and true.
Benj, so we went to the University of Michigan together. Do you have a favorite, college memory?
Of you in particular?
Did somebody shout out Pizza House?
Pizza House, yes. Let me think. Andrew and I'll give you guys a really good college memory. Okay, so I think this is you, Andrew. I love throwing parties, and I threw a party my senior year where everyone had to dress however they dressed in middle school, and I asked my bestie Andrew Bolger if he would help get party supplies that would evoke what it would feel like to be back in middle school. So I thought he was gonna go get poster boards and whatever cute little things that you get that feel like they're middle schooly. What else would one get? I don't even remember, but things that felt like they were very early.
We also went to middle school in the 90s, so Tamagotchis and slap bracelets. Things that were very middle school party.
Totally. So I'm planning the party, getting the food all, whatever, and I gave Andrew my credit card, which I should not have done because he just went crazy and bought all of these supplies. But one of the things that he came back with was a living live gerbil. And the reason was because he was don't people have gerbils? Doesn't that feel like something that people did in middle school? And I was wait, we're at a party now, and now we all have to take care of this gerbil. And we all have to caretake for this gerbil for the rest of our college experience.
In my defense, what is more middle school than a gerbil?
It's pretty middle school, but literally we all had to have a pet gerbil that we shared because Andrew bought it for a middle school party. Yeah.
I always named the gerbil after a musical. We have to know that now.
Oh God, what was that gerbil's name?
I don't know, but I feel like it should be something. I don't know, Jen Tepper, come up with something good.
I do remember at the time it being, I thought it was hilarious, and then being oh, I guess that was sort of problematic to buy a gerbil for a party. And I'm realizing it was also problematic for me to just fully use your credit card at a Walmart and being swipe, it's for Benj's party.
Yeah, problematic and
Yeah.
other strikes in that.
You could probably contact American Express and be there's some charges I did not approve, such as one gerbil and gerbil cage.
Yeah, no, that's a real story though, guys. I did not prep this, so I just said whatever came to mind, starring Andrew.
Well, I miss your sweet face. It is really
I
good
love
seeing
you.
you. I promise that I will FaceTime you at some point with
Okay,
an entire audience of.
Give my love to Scott and have a great BroadwayCon.
I will give my love to Kim.
Have fun in London.
Bye, see you guys.
I think if we have our next person on board, is it?
Yeah, do we have our next?
We do. He's here. He's best known for Next to Normal, If Then, and most recently Flying Over Sunset.
Yes, so we're bringing in an amazing Pulitzer Prize winning writer that has a Broadway show coming up that maybe he'll talk to us about, Tom Kidd.
Oh my goodness.
Hello.
Hi, Tom! Unmute yourself, Tom. Oh, we're on mute, baby. Tom, are you able to unmute yourself?
Is anyone good at reading lips?
Natalie, are you able to chat him at all?
This is irony.
Yes.
You can't
He makes magical sounds, but not his own voice. Natalie, are you able to like chat him and tell him the exact way?
There is a message at the top where it says like, oh, we just don't have audio for him. This is weird. Okay, hold on.
There is a room full of tech experts helping us out right now.
There's usually a big old echo feedback situation when we try that.
There would be a feedback situation. As much as I would like to do a Geek Squad session right now, I feel like
He's
it's
not muted.
We can utilize the chat function.
Honestly, let's ask him yes or no questions. I think that would be pretty funny.
Okay, wait, Tom, if you can hear us, we're gonna ask you some yes or no questions so we can overcome the sound issue. Is that okay with you? Yes or no? Wait, you can't hear us either? Tom, it might be your AirPods. Okay, maybe does that change a setting or something?
Everybody's an expert. I love it.
All right, now I
Ooh, building tension.
That was very exciting, everybody.
Have a good denouement
Yeah.
at BroadwayCon.
Tom, Kit, how are you? We're so sorry for the technical difficulties.
That is quite all right. I am good. I am working. I'm happy to say. Currently having a work session today, but was really excited that I was invited to join all of you.
Yeah. Well, BroadwayCon is very excited to see you on screen, and there was a lot of trying to help with that, so people are psyched to talk to you. Do you want to tell us, you have a very exciting show coming to Broadway this coming season. You want to tell us about that a little bit?
Yes, I have Almost Famous coming. We were at the Old Globe in just before the pandemic in the fall of 2019, and so it's been hard to be in pause, but I've just been sort of looking forward to getting a chance to share it with everyone, and now that everything is moving forward, there's momentum, getting back to the material and getting to hear it again and live in it is just the greatest gift. And when the show was announced and I was sort of walking around with listening to everybody's coming together, which was something we recorded in February of 2020, it just felt so emotional because during the pandemic, when I would be listening to it, the question, when is this going to happen? When are people going to get to hear this piece that I've been so fortunate to work on? And now that it's actually a reality, it's quite emotional.
So do you think that there is anything as a creator, as a writer, that is different about the show because of the timeline and because of everything you just explained about the show itself? Have you made writing changes you might have not made if you didn't have as much time?
I think that the changes we've made I hope they would have happened because they feel good and they feel like what the piece needed. I feel like for all of my work, having gone through this period, there's a sense of gratitude and everything you're working on takes on urgency because you just see how important it is to be an artist right now, to be speaking to all that we are feeling and going through. It feels like a great gift to be an artist right now, and I know that I have gratitude every room that I'm walking into and getting to be in person with fellow artists creating because we saw how horrible that was to have it taken away from us.
Totally. So we have a lot of Next to Normal fans in the audience today. Do you want to share just any favorite Next to Normal story that comes to mind?
There are a number of stories. When you're working on something for 11 years, from first 10-minute musical to Broadway, you go through many things. But the thing I always talk about and I remember was one night in previews on Broadway, Brian and I were hanging around the just after the production meeting, and there was a teenager that came up to us and asked if we were the writers. And we said we were. He said that he had recently been diagnosed bipolar, and he wanted to thank us for the show because it was going to be something he was going to be able to take his family and friends to and point out, this is what I'm experiencing. And Brian and I just kind of looked at each other and we said, later on, whatever happens, this is why we wrote it. We wrote it to as artists, say something that we were feeling and we hope would speak to people. And I just always think about that moment because we get so immersed in so many things when we're creating. But that ability to connect with your audience and see how your work is having an impact is really why I do it.
You're getting a lot of applause over here. Well, thank you so much for joining us virtually and for navigating all of that.
I'm so sorry, it probably was a Bluetooth thing. I'm just not that technically savvy, so thank you for your patience with me.
No. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Where are we
I did that, I think.
after this? How we doing? How we doing now?
We have our next guest.
All right.
Great. And it's the next guest according to the schedule that I can introduce, yes?
I don't have the schedule.
Oh, well, give me a hint and then I'll chime in.
Show them to us before you show them to the audience.
Or that.
Yeah, you'll see him first.
Okay. Okay. I think it is.
It's Andrew Keenan Bolger.
It's my dog, George.
Okay, so y'all get very excited. You're about to meet on screen an extraordinary actor. You might know him from Spelling Bee, you might know him from King and I, you might know him from Flower Drum Song. It's Jose.
Hi guys.
Thank you for joining us.
How are ya?
Good. You're here with the audience at BroadwayCon. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, they're very sparkly. It's all glittery around here. It's good.
Jose, how's your summer been so far? I know you were doing some really amazing concerts and other things.
Yeah, I just did a concert with the Big Mix concert over at Little Island with Tim Landau and Kim Grigsby. It was a lot of fun, and now I'm just kind of enjoying the beautiful weather these days.
Where are you at right now?
We have a house out on Long Island.
Long Island. Sorry, it's a little too quick. Forgive me for forgetting, but have you ever been to BroadwayCon before?
I have not.
Man, next time.
Okay. I'll come there as soon as I can.
What is something that you would want to do at BroadwayCon?
Oh my gosh, that's like such an open question. I don't know,
I'm asking so I can make it happen.
I mean, I'm all into like reunion casts and things like that, companies that I've been a part of, and yeah, and seeing people and reminiscing and telling backstage stories and hashing up old or embarrassing stories. That's the fun part. That's the fun stuff.
And Jose, I know you have like so many great backstage stories, and you worked on Broadway for like so long, 20 years, right? It's like you're an expert among experts. I'm sure we have so many Spelling Bee fans here. Would you want to share any memory that might come to mind, a favorite story from that show?
There's so many. I mean, there was one time, well into the first year in the Broadway run, where they were holding a matinee because there were about maybe 50 or 60 people still that were late, and so they were like, we're gonna hold the show because there's so many of them. And so they held it, but then they said, eventually we're gonna have to go, so we were about 15 minutes late, and then about 15 minutes after we started, they started coming in, and it was an entire pack of Boy Scouts streaming into the show. And so, of course, in Spelling Bee, there's no fourth wall. And so suddenly, I remember it was so obvious, and the audience can see each other at Circle and Square. I kind of stood up and went like this. I was like, all started screaming in, and so the whole show became like about playing to like the 40 Boy Scouts that just walked in uniform. So it was pretty great.
And then didn't Usher, was she like, I'm gonna need to see your ticket, sir?
Yeah, exactly.
In the show.
And I kept, we kept playing, obviously, Dan Fogler and Jesse, we kept playing, and Sarah Salzberg, we kept playing, like, improv things, throwing it to them, kind of thing, and because they had missed the cutoff for volunteers, I think the running joke was like, why aren't one of you on stage with us, and so, and also too, like, I kept, and during my song, during the Erection song, I clearly, like, pelted the entire Boy Scouts with, like, every piece of candy that I had. So it was great, and stuff like that happens, and shows that don't have a fourth wall is absolutely fantastic, and every single show was different, and we had nightmare shows where there were drunk people in the audience, and people who decided to bring a full lunch and put it in the front of the stage and like eat it, you know. And so like it was constant fun and silliness. So.
Jose, if you came to BroadwayCon and had to cosplay as any character in musical theater universe, who would it be?
Oh my god. Oh, I don't know. Like maybe I would try to dress as Lea Salonga from Miss Saigon. I don't know. You know, it's Sweeney Todd maybe, or no, better not Sweeney Todd, but like actually like Joanna, you know, or like Lady Thiam in The King and I. You know, like totally kind of mix it up, take the parts that I was meant to play, kind of thing, and things like that. So.
Good rocket. Jose, I know that we saw you on our TVs at the Tonys as like hanging with Ruthie and Miles this year. How are the Tonys? How was that?
Oh my god, that was so much fun. And like, I was so happy when Ruthie texted me. She's like, "Are you free on Sunday?" And I'm like, "Sunday? You mean the Tony Awards on Sunday?" You know, because she decided not to bring her husband, and she was like, "I need a date." And I'm like, "Oh my god, twist my arm." You know, I get to meet Ruthie and Miles Day for the Tonys, and we were sitting like in the thick of it. We were like directly in front of Marianne Elliott. We were across the aisle from Matt Doyle and you know and Max Clayton, and so it was just so hilarious. We were passing out Twizzlers to everybody. We had packed lots of candy, and it was just so much fun. And you know, because Ruthie was presenting, so she was a little nervous about that. But other than that, we were so relaxed, and we weren't nervous about anything, so we could actually enjoy the Tonys as opposed to, and when we've both been there before, we were either performing or she was up for an award and winning an award. You know, you're not really enjoying it because you're not really in your head at that point. But to be spectators at the Tonys and actually enjoy it, and her award that she was presenting was early in the evening, so that after she was done, we totally just had a ball. And you know, she's my sister. And, my forever favorite wife, so we had a good time. We had a great time.
Well, thank you for joining us virtually. Very good to see you.
Thank you, and enjoy the rest of. I think that tonight's the last night of BroadwayCon, right?
It's the last hour. This is it.
What?
Yeah.
You're the 11 o'clock number. Go!
Right. Well, have a great last hour, guys.
Thank you.
Natalie, I see we have two people ready. You want to give me a hint about which one is coming in next?
The one who is scheduled next.
Great. So this is exciting. The next person is coming to us straight from their Broadway matinee they just performed. An extraordinary actor who, they're here. Hi.
Hi.
Let's bring to the screen John Andrew Morrison from Strange Loop.
I thought this was all virtual.
It's
Like,
sort
yeah,
of virtual. Oh my God, thank you so much for joining us after your matinee. Are you coming to us from the Lyceum Theater?
I am. I'm from my dressing room on Broadway.
Oh my goodness. And how was the performance today?
You know, I was magnificent.
How many folks in the BroadwayCon audience have gotten to see or hear Strange Loop? Isn't it? It's just like the greatest. It's so freaking good. Johnny,
You've known it from the beginning.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You have been with the show for so much of its like development. Tell all of us Broadway geeks here, like, you know, what your journey with Strange Loop has been.
Well, we started in the Porn Theater of Musical Theater Factory. So, if you don't know about Musical Theater Factory, when it started in a porn studio, a gay porn studio above the drama bookshop. And that was where we developed the show for about 5 years. And we had all of these readings and workshops. And, you know, Michael kind of was like, no one is ever going to produce this thing. It's too black, it's too gay, it's too whatever. But we really kind of loved the piece, so we kept saying yes and coming back and doing all of these workshops. And then we did this one 15-minute presentation I'll never forget, where we presented Precious Little Dream, AIDS is God's Punishment. And we saw people's jaw just drop. And we're like, oh, there might be something here. And then once Musical Theatre Factory moved to become a part of Playwrights Horizons, it was clear that, okay, it looks like we're moving, and that was what happened. And so it's been an exciting, exciting time. I've been singing periodically for about 14 years, and I still find more layers and stuff within it each time. So it's really exciting. I need to look at the camera. I'm like looking at myself. Okay.
You're perfect. We're in the Zoom world now. Nobody makes eye contact anymore. It's okay. Is there anything that you miss that you understand, like why it had to be cut over time, but that you wish you could still bring to stages every night?
There's so much. There should be like a whole cut show of this show, but a lot of it is really. Michael is funny, and there was especially like in the family drama scene, there were all of these like insults that were hilarious that just got cut because of time and all of that stuff. One of my favorite, the fight between Usher and Mom, it ended with the dad coming in and like shutting it down. And then he kind of like looked at me and would go, Sarabi, you hungry? And my line after the whole fight was, I could eat. And that was what I used to say about the words that are periodically. I could eat.
Oh my god, I want to see your one-man show with like all the cut material.
It's crazy.
Is there anything surprising about being on Broadway? Like, what's been the part of the experience that you've been like, whoa?
Well, you know, Jennifer, as someone who's been working on Broadway now for 12 whole weeks, I tell you, the thing that's great about Broadway is the people. Actually, it is the people. It's been really wonderful, like working with our crew and, you know, Frank with our house carpenter, like, he's amazing. His first show on Broadway was My Fair Lady. He's just like a wealth of history. And so they're just wonderful people, and it's been absolutely great kind of like showing up every day. And, you know, our head electrician and all the crew is absolutely fantastic. And so that's been wonderful. Also, just like having almost 1,000 people like cheer for you at the end of the thing is nuts. It's like, it's a crazy feeling. You know, especially when we've been doing it for like, you know, 250 people here or to have that many people just enjoying the show at one point in time is just crazy.
Now that you're doing 8 shows a week or however many you personally are doing, what's your favorite way to unwind after all that? What's your Monday ritual?
My Monday ritual is I turn off the phone. I don't answer the phone. I lie all the way down. And unfortunately, I found this thing, and I wish I'd never found it. Milk Bar has a birthday cake, ice cream, and the birthday, because it is the best thing. So I indulged on the birthday cake ice cream, and I sit down. I lie all day. I kind of have to. It's a very physical show, and then you know try and get a foot massage at some point in time that day, just to kind of take care of the body.
I have one last question. Have you been above the Lyceum yet, to like the area above the Schubert, with the Schubert archives?
No, they haven't invited us yet, but I've got, so you know, our spot ops are up in the lighting, you know this theater. So like you go all the way up the 4 things, and they have these big like stakes. So I've been to the lighting thing where the 2, Rocco and Matt, like actually do the thing, but we haven't been invited up to the archive.
I'm sure they just think you guys are so busy, but you will go up soon, and we have to geek out about it because there's like one of my favorite things at your theater is the secret trapdoor where the man who built the theater would wave a white flag at his actor's wife when she was overacting from the trapdoor. So when we did Be More Chill there, I always told George Salzer I was going to wave it at him when he was overacting, but so you guys can play pranks on each other if you get up there to the trapdoor.
I mean, it's so funny, you can see it from the stage, and like, I kind of create the stage before each show, and I always go, thank you, Mr. Furman, because he was the man who had the apartment up there, and that marriage didn't last though. It's overacting one. So, yeah. Wait, can I say one thing? Can I tell you one thing that's happening? So, James Jackson and I started a podcast during the pandemic called 5 Questions with James and Jam. And we're maybe starting it up again, starting tomorrow.
You guys, it's great. You have to check it out. John Andrew, where can people find you on social so they can check it out?
Okay, so for the 5 Questions with James and Jam, there's a website, 52J&J. We're going live tomorrow with a show at 8 p.m. because we have a series of things before a live show that we're doing in September. And then J. Anthony Moore is my Instagram, and you can find most of the stuff there. You can also look for 5 Questions James and Jam on James and Jam on Facebook and Instagram, and come visit with us tomorrow.
Amazing. Thank you so
Real
much.
quick, John Andrew, I don't have any questions. Just like in true BroadwayCon spirit, I have to fangirl over your performance. That was like so incredibly beyond your work in Strange Loop is so insanely beautiful, laughed and wept. And so this is the folks, like, we also fangirl over other people in our industry. You are so amazing. Please, I can't wait to see your show again.
Also, they should know I was in a movie that you shot for like 2 seconds.
Wait, are you serious?
I'm in
God.
I'm sitting outside.
I know that. Oh my god, I never put that together. Oh my goodness. You're amazing. Let's be friends on Instagram.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us on air.
I'm legitimately starstruck.
Yeah.
His performance, I was like, how is he doing that?
Giving like one of the greatest performances on Broadway right
Yeah.
now. Just so great.
Unbelievable.
Natalie, I'm sure we have our next person who's been waiting patiently.
We do, and I'm sending him in.
Yes, just send him in. Just send him in.
Just do it. 9 minutes left to BroadwayCon. Truly.
Oh my goodness!
I know those
BroadwayCon
faces.
audiences, yes! Welcome straight from Hadestown, T.L. Marie. We're getting some cheers over here.
Cheers over here.
That's me in 9 minutes.
Oh, good. Yes.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm a little tired right now. You know, just finishing a matinee, but I'm really great. How are you all?
We're doing great. BroadwayCon's super excited to have you with us on screen.
I'm so happy to be here. Oh, Andrew and one of our Mary Poppins kids is at the show this afternoon. She's a full adult now and in nursing school.
Oh my
That's all I'm
god.
gonna say.
How old is she?
She was there with Matthew. I think she's 21 or 22. You remember Cassidy?
Yes, oh my goodness. That is so wild that,
Like,
yeah.
Oh no, go ahead, go. Oh, I was gonna say, before we get into the magic of Hadestown, obviously, these two did Mary Poppins together. But tell the audience how many Broadway shows you've done. Suspense.
Hadestown is my 13th Broadway show. 13. Yes.
He is incredible. Tell us about your Hadestown journey, and including up to today.
Yeah, Hadestown has been so interesting for me. I was doing a workshop of Lempico with Rachel Chapkin a couple of, probably 3.5 years ago now. And it was during that workshop that they mentioned that Hadestown was coming back to Broadway from the West End. And it was like, I started listening to it because I had listened to the New York Theater Works recording so many times because of Chris Sullivan and so many other people, and loved that recording. And the day I found out that it was coming back, I was like, I'm doing the show. I knew it. And I kept thinking, like, so what am I going to do with the show? What makes sense for me? And the entire time was like, you're going to swing the show, you're going to dance tap, and you're going to cover Hades and Maurice. I knew it before I went audition. And during the process, my agent kept saying, casting says they're still trying to figure out. And the entire time I was just like, it's fine. I know exactly what it's going to be. It's fine. I've never been like that on the show at all, but it really was like, these are the puzzle pieces that make sense for what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be able to like really watch the process of Andre DeShields and Patrick Page, and for what the show is, and having a choreographer who's not a Broadway choreographer, but someone who's from a more contemporary world, to be able to bridge that gap in a way that I did for Once on This Island with Camille A. Brown. It's like, this makes sense. So joined the company, was a swing and cover for both of those gentlemen for the pre-pandemic year. They came back from pandemic, and my sort of place in the Hades tumble has been shifting over the past months. They were trying to figure out what's going on. The initial thought was that Andre was going to go to 6 shows a weekend, and I would stand by, and then he put a whammy on that when he said he was just leaving. So there was this then conversation about what made sense, and luckily for me, what made sense for everybody was for me to step into the role for me.
How many Hades Town fans do we have in the house?
We can't see, but that's a lot of hands.
We love that.
What's your favorite of the 13 shows besides the one you're in right now?
See, good question. There's something about each of the shows that is dear to my heart. I have to say, with Mary Poppins, who was working with so many of those young actors and seeing so many of them growing up, and either still in business or just being great human beings, that when we see that it's so nice. Like with Thoroughly Modern Millie, it was Rob Ashford's first big Broadway musical, and and Sutton and that big break for her. So I mean, like they all really have really great moments. I have to say, like, other than this one, I mean, maybe Once on This Island, because that was my first professional job out of college. I did second national bus and truck non-equity tour of Once on This Island. And so to come back full circle 3 or 4 years later, to do it on Broadway, it was just amazing. I was Daniel in that production, to come back and to cover Aquay and Tonton Juliet and Papa Gay, and to really listen to the lyrics of those older humans as opposed to this young, love-struck human being. It was really powerful, really magical for me.
T, as someone, you have been like a cover and a swing and a lot of things, and I think the conversation in the past year has really shifted to, in light of COVID, really swings and understudies are absolutely the MVPs of Broadway this year, more than any Tony winning performance. What does it mean as someone who has both been on either side of covering and playing the role, that they are finally getting this platform and this attention?
I mean, I don't think that we can oversell how important this moment has been. You think of the number of times over, and just this season and then this generation, the number of understudies and swings and standbys who, on a moment's notice, have gone on, whether they were rehearsed or not, and saved the show. And it's good that I think now not only our audiences, but as much as our producers knew it, the producers are really seeing it now and acknowledging that the swings, the covers, the standbys are all such an essential part of the show. And they're not an addition, they're not an extra. They are company members. They are part of this core group and not the extra. So to see what's been going on, to see so many people are getting right now is really amazing. I hope that continues.
Because I like asking this question at BroadwayCon. Were there any musicals or shows that you geeked out over before you were a professional actor? Like, what was your favorite musical as a kid?
Okay, so I was, when I was in elementary school, every afternoon after school, I would go to our public library in Gaston County, North Carolina, and I would wait for my mother to pick me up, so I would be there for half an hour every afternoon. And it was either second grade or third grade, it must have been third grade, and I listened to the cast recording of Annie every day I had a copy of it at home, and I would sit in the living room, and I would sing from the beginning of the show to the end of the show every day. And finally, the tour of Annie was coming through Charlotte, and my mother was like, I'm taking you to see this show because I want to hear these songs again. So that was the show that I think was my first geek out, and then years later, I did an industrial with Andrea McCart, and she sang Tomorrow, and in the same key, sounding exactly the way it sounds on that cast recording. I mean, that was definitely the show that took the image.
That's amazing.
Tiana Reed, Rooster, Broadway revival of Annie Red.
Yes, oh my god, you're so good.
I am all for that. I am all for that. Just have to make it happen. Make it
Thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Yes,
my
thank
pleasure.
you.
Thank you for having me.
Especially on a show day.
It's one of those things when things happen and that you wanted to happen for a long time, you don't say no to what the universe has finally allowed to happen. I mean, that's the joy of one of the things that Andre has, one of those morsels he's loved with me is the universe is conspiring with you. So when it is, go with it. So I'm happy to be here.
Love that. Good advice. Thank you so much.
Well, good to see you next year.
It is 6. Do we have anyone
I
else?
think that is all that I have on my list,
Great.
unless God wants to contradict me. Died of mere contradiction from God. So, do we want to do a little wrap up with our friend Ben, if he is around? Y'all, again, I've said it 15 times this weekend, but it is a very hard time for events these days. It's obviously a hard time for Broadway as well. The fact that y'all came out and brought so much energy and spirit and love and passion to this event means the world for us, and we cannot thank you enough. Seriously, y'all are what makes BroadwayCon what it is, and we cannot wait to come back even stronger next year.
Thank you, Melissa, for doing all that you do.
An incredible staff, and they are the real people to thank this weekend. You've probably seen them flying back and forth on stage, up the stage, down the stairs, behind the sign. But before we wrap up, do we have? Are we doing anything? We have to have a band at the end of Broadway. Sure.
Me?
Yes!
Oh, okay, yeah.
Ben Cameron. Somebody call Ben Cameron BroadwayCon's Sprite King.
I'm the Sprite King.
It's the best. It's the best.
I'll take
Wait,
it
don't
better
leave,
than
Angela.
in a million years.
How are we saying goodbye? You want to say?
I think we gotta put up a video and have everybody should stand up, and I think we should sing, and I think we should dance. Let's see, what video would be right for this? Huh? Which one?
Meeny, meeny, miny, that one.
Oh, they cut that out. Let's do the last clip that I have, and we'll go off with some high energy. What do you say? This will encapsulate how we feel. You guys, I want you to see.